Well, here's the pontoon dock now with the carpet pretty much glued down. You can see how the step in the plywood there now with the cardboard, which allows this 3-inch aluminum channel border to go on the edge, which that'll go all the way around the whole dock when it's done. This dock will carry about 4,000 pounds. We just got to finish gluing this side on the edges and putting this aluminum channel that's laying on the floor here. Trim the carpet off and glue it up underneath and staple it. It's all been rolled out and glued with marine carpet. And again, too, you can see that this edge here has got the routed ledge to accept the 3-inch channel. Again, you know, like we were saying before, like, these are far from any cheap, expensive pontoons that you would buy from any brand name, that they're only made out of 16 or 14 gauge aluminum. These are all made out of 1/8 marine grade aluminum with heavy duty supports, unlike I was explaining the other day. These have got an aluminum channel welded in here the full length of the pontoon. The cheap factory ones, they just got a 1.5-inch flat bar that comes up like this and like this and welded to the top, and then each of your cross members bolt to it. And they crack right here where the flat bars are welded because the material is so thin and it's so little support on it. When you buy these kits, you get this pontoon, all these cross members, and you have to put it in a jig, which we have already pre-made up, or you have to put it on an easy loader boat trailer, and that way you get the pontoons leveled and square, and then you clamp each of these cross members, the front and back cross members, and you get it all squared, and you drill each one of the holes, which is very easy drilling because it's only aluminum and it's 1/8 inch thick. It does take a little bit of work to get them through, and you get the front cross member bolted on and the back cross member bolted on square, and then you start spacing them out. At the front and the back, they're spaced about 8 inches apart to reinforce the front and back for your motor wells on boats, and also for the motor well on the dock here if you want to put the optional motor mount on. If you want to use it as a dock and then use it as a raft and put it out into the lake. And then after that first 3 that are put at the front and back, you put a tongue on the front for pulling it up out of the water or up onto the trailer. And then from there you space them 24 inches apart, and then you use a marine adhesive 3M 5200 fast cure marine adhesive to glue your 3/4 inch marine grade plywood down. It's got to be 3/4 inch marine grade, not just your regular construction grade plywood. Won't last you more than 10-15 years, regular plywood. You don't use treated. But before you put your plywood down, as you've seen, it was coated with a 2-part epoxy marine coating on the plywoods to protect them on both sides as well, and sort of encapsulates the whole plywood. And then, like I say, everywhere you see these welds, every 5 feet on this pontoon dock or pontoon boat, the same pontoons are used on a pontoon boat as used on the docks. They're extra heavy duty. The only difference is on a pontoon boat, If it's ordered as a commercial grade one, there's a 3-inch channel similar to this that's welded right to the side of the pontoon as a rub rail, like this, in the commercial grade. If it's ordered as just a personal use one, it's a piece of aluminum angle iron welded on its face. I don't know if I have a piece of handy angle iron here or not. I know I don't have any. No, I know I don't have a piece of aluminum angle iron, a short piece. I got long pieces. I don't know if I got a just a regular piece of steel angle iron to show you what I'm talking about. But we do have big long pieces of aluminum. Yeah, here we go. So pretend this piece of angle iron is aluminum. It's a piece of 1.5 inch aluminum angle iron. When it's ordered as a personal use boat, it's welded onto the outside of the pontoon like this. Aluminum angle iron, not steel like this, like I'm showing you, but it goes on like this as a rub rail to protect the side of the pontoon boat. But if it's ordered as a commercial unit, then it's that channel iron I showed you, and that protects the side of the pontoon boat. The docks don't have that on them. And before this goes out, we locate where the cross members are, and you can see there's one here because that's where the screw is to hold the thing on, so that's where one of the cross members are. So one of these cleats will get bolted down right here on each side. We don't need anything else on there, just the one, because as I showed you in the other previous video, there's 4 of these aluminum cast corners with the tie rings on them that once both aluminum channels are on, these will get fastened on here like this, which is your other tie rings, and we shoot them in with pop rivets or stainless steel screws, and then we take a 3/8 by 3 stainless steel carriage bolt like this, and it's drilled in from this side right here like this. We drill a hole right through here and right into the cross member, and then it's bolted tight with stainless steel nuts and washers, so it's securely fastened so that it's a good anchor point for tying your boats up to the dock. And the same kind of corners are used on the pontoon boats. Now, the bigger the boats you go to, the bigger those corners are. Like if you go with a pontoon boat that's 16 feet wide, the cross members are 4 inches high or 3 inches high by 4 inches wide, so they take a bigger corner. But all these other ones that are up to 10 feet wide, they use this size. And our standard boat kits, they start off at 18-inch diameter pontoons all the way up to 52-inch diameter pontoons. And also too, on the pontoons, there's aluminum angle iron that welds the same way underneath as a skid plate, as I showed you on the side of the pontoon. And then they also have a aluminum bracket that goes back here that's welded on for attaching things for your sonar and for pumps for drawing in water for your live wells or for filling up your lake water tanks for showers and toilets, unless you want to use fresh water for your shower and toilets. But we recommend just using regular lake water for your showers and toilets. Why waste valuable fresh water for your toilet and showers? So both pontoons have a bracket welded on there for sonar things and for the pumps and stuff like that, for sucking water out of the lake, for either directly running your toilet or pumping into a tank which is mounted underneath the deck. All your freshwater tanks and your gray water tanks, your black water tanks are all mounted up under the decks. We can also have fuel tanks installed inside the pontoons. They're a little more expensive that way because for the Ministry of Transportation, for being their fuel, they have to be double lined inside of the pontoon. So basically they're triple lined. You have the pontoon and then you have a double lined fuel tank inside the pontoon. And we can do them anywhere from 20-gallon tanks all the way up to, I believe it's a 50-gallon tank on each side. Now, depending on the size of the pontoon boat, you can go larger fuel tanks depending on the diameter of the pontoon, and you can put more than one in one pontoon. But take in consideration that takes away from some of your flotation. So there's the stage the dock is at now. This dock here will sell when it's completely done, when we assemble them, for about $7,200. It's 6 feet wide and 16 feet long. And then we also have the optional hinge kits, so that if you want to add more than one section, or if you want to put a ramp, 6 foot wide ramp, either 10 feet, 12 feet, 16 feet to shore, you can, and it just folds up. And I showed you the hinges in the other video. But yeah, that's the way that goes. This is almost done, you know. Another 8 hours today and this dock will be ready to be all cleaned up and put outside for sale. Since this one here was not a custom ordered one, it was just one we put together to sell, because so many people come in and say, well, if you had one built, I would buy it. And like I say, we custom build them, or we just sell you the kit and you can build it however you want, or we'll build it to any stage you want. The only thing you have to do is come in and put the bolts in for the motor mount, so that you sign the sworn affidavit that you made it into a power boat. If it's just going to be a 9.9 engine or less on a pontoon boat, small pontoon boat, or electric drive boat that we build for you, then it's, you know, we do everything. But once you get over 9.9, it's way too much red tape and too much professional staff we have to have on. Like if we were to go into power boats, we would have to have a full-time marine engineer on staff, and each model of boat that we would build, we would have to have it a stability test done on it, and a whole bunch of other rigmarole. This way here, we build floating structures, and we'll put the motor mount in place for you and C-clamp it in place, drill all the holes for you, and all you have to do is come and put the bolts in, and then when you get it registered, you sign it off that you made it into a power boat once you get over 9.9 horsepower. Very simple process, fully legal, and it just cuts our overhead way down big time, and it cuts the retail price way back. And remember, you know, you're getting 30 times the quality of boat than you would from any factory boat, because these are built substantially compared to the factory ones. I don't even know how the factory ones pass, because they have no dividers in the pontoons. and they're built so thin, they don't have these baffles every 5 feet. So in a factory one, if you punch a hole in the pontoon, that whole side is going down. And like the motor mount would mount right here in the center. Now if this was a pontoon boat, you could go with a third pontoon the full length of the boat, and it would have the outboard motor mount on the end of the third pontoon. Or you can go with a 10-foot center pod, they call, and it goes from here forward 10 feet. And we recommend that to be 2 inches larger than your outer pontoons. So it acts like a keel to give you better steering capability. And that 10-foot center pod sticks out another three feet back here, so that it's got room for the engine head to tilt back, because those 10-foot center pods, they're rated at 250 horsepower at 24 inches and up in diameter. So that's just a little sneak peek at it. Like I say, they're built the same way. These docks are built the same way as the boats, with the exception of those angle irons not welded on the side. There's optional striker plates that can be ordered welded on, which gives you better on the inside of the pontoons, that give you a quicker lift out of the water. There's extra heavy-duty skid plates that can be welded on the bottom side, which is just a heavier molded half-rounded flat bar aluminum. I believe depends on the size of the pontoon, but they start off as about 4 inches wide and 6 inches wide, depending on the diameter of the pontoon. And the only other difference is that the pontoon boat pontoons have, that the docks don't have, is they have the lifting wings on the front right here. And it's a wing that comes out on an angle like this and rounded off like that. And then they got gussets on it to support them. And as you hit a wave, it lifts the front of the boat up so it doesn't go through. That's the only difference that the docks don't have compared to the boats. But other than that, the pontoons, the mountings, everything, the rails, cross members are all built the same way. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll bring you up the next one when we get to the next stage on this. Again, thanks for watching. If you want to build your own from kit, call us here at Rompes Outdoors. Check us out at rompes.ca, rompais.ca, and we can get out whatever kit you want, or we can build it to whatever stage you want. Okay, till next time, have a great day, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate and comment. Well, everybody, there's the finished product. Custom pontoon dock with the carpet and everything on it. Just remember, like, you can buy them in kits, or we can assemble them to any stage you want, in any form, from a pontoon dock, pontoon boat, to however style you want. Without changing the shape of the pontoons, of course. Like I say, pontoon docks, pontoon boats, pontoon houseboats. We can do pontoon houseboats up to 20 feet wide, starting from 8 feet to 102 inches to 12 feet, 14, 16, 18, and 20 feet wide. The pontoons can be anywhere from 18 inches in diameter up to 52 inches in diameter. Now, we sold a few kits down to Vancouver, BC, where they were 20 feet wide, and 8 pontoons or something like that underneath it, 52 inches in diameter, and they built great big A-frame cedar homes on them floating in the ocean. To barges, where you can have extra structural framing made for it, to support a big hydraulic crane or electric crane, or just even a manual crane. If you check out our website at rompais.com, rompais.com, and click on the link that says custom pontoons, you'll see, and go through our photo gallery, you'll see all kinds of boats, from paddle wheel boats to barges, moving farm machinery, moving lumber, to work boats with big water pumps on them, house boats. And again, like I say, you can order the whole kit yourself and build the whole thing from scratch yourself, or we can build it to any stage you like. We have everything you need from start to finish of your project, whether you want cable steering, hydraulic steering, hydraulic boost steering for really high torque engines. We could do inboard outboard, where the center pontoon, the inboard engine is mounted right in the actual center pontoon itself, and the outdrive is mounted. There's photos of that all on our website. The only thing we need to make the pontoon for an inboard engine is we need the manufacturer's drawings for the engine for the motor mounts. Unless we sell you the engine, then we have all that ourselves. But if you're using an engine out of another boat or something like that, you'll have to track down the actual motor mounting schematics on it, so we can make sure that the mounts are welded in the right place. And like I say, there's a 10-foot center pontoon that can be added to any pontoon kit, anywhere from 18 inches to 52 inches in diameter. On the average pontoon boat, just a regular pontoon boat, we use a 20. If the outer pontoons are a 24-inch, we use the a 26-inch diameter center pontoon for better steering control. It acts more like a keel, as long as it's 2 inches bigger. If you're running the full length of the boat with a third pontoon, then you keep them all the same. And again, the pontoon boats, they've got the wings on the front of the pontoons and the cones, unlike the dock here. So anyway, there's the finished product. So, you know, these are all, I've probably said it before, but I'll say it again, these are all US and Canada Coast Guard approved pontoons, and Transport Canada approved. And they all come with hull serial numbers. And we basically build floating structures, whether it be a pontoon boat, pontoon houseboat, barge, or whatever. But if you want to put an engine on it, we will clamp the engine mount or the center pontoon in place for you. We'll even install the engine for you, but you have to come and put the bolts in that hold the center pontoon or the motor well on the back. We drill everything for you. All you have to do is come in and put the bolts in and torque them down, so that when you register it, you sign the sworn affidavit that you made it into a power boat. This cuts back on us having to have a full-time marine engineer on staff, and it cuts back on the thousands of dollars a year in licensing. We will build them complete for any boat up to a 9.9 engine, being you don't need to register anything up to 9.9 in Canada anyway. And but anything over that, you, the customer, has to come in and put the bolts in the motor mount, so that you made it into a power boat. And it's just a matter of taking 4 pictures from the 4 different angles and filling up 2 sheets with the measurements of the pontoon, and within 4 to 6 weeks you get a paper sticker back that gives you the horsepower rating and the maximum number of people on board, maximum carrying capacity, stuff like that. So there you go. This pontoon is for sale. This pontoon dock. It's 6 feet wide, 16 feet long, with the industrial grade marine carpet on it, blue in color as you can see. We're going to list this on Kijiji, and it won't last long, I'll tell you that. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully the next one we do is an actual pontoon boat or houseboat. We do them all the time, so just a matter whether we have time to fill them or not, and it'll just be done in stages like this pontoon was done. I would like to have done it where we were installing the cross members and stuff like that, but there was just no time. So, and there's a secret to that part too, so to make sure that both pontoons are level and square, so that's the hard part. You've got to make sure you have a jig for it. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share this on social media. Click the thumbs up button and subscribe, and so you get a notification of every time we upload a new video. And have a great day. Thanks again. Bye. One thing I want to add here before we go is a lot of people, they'll call us up and they'll say, I want a pontoon kit, I want to build a houseboat, or I want to build this, or I want to build that. And they have no idea what size kit they want. They figure they can just buy a 24-inch diameter pontoon, 18-inch diameter pontoon, and build a houseboat on it. Well, newsflash, they have a weight capacity, and when you're done building and you have your boat built and you have all your gear on board, all your fuel tanks on board, and all your equipment, the pontoons should not be more than half draft in the water. Below half draft, they're unsafe and not legal. So do your homework. There's a weight capacity chart on our website at rompeys.com, and I'll also put some screenshots of the weight capacities and the weight capacity calculator, so that if you want a size that is not listed on the weight capacity chart, you can calculate it out. Now, when you're doing these weight capacities, you do not take into consideration the weight of this actual kit. You do, however, take in the weight of the 3/4 inch marine grade plywood or aluminum checker plate, whatever you're going to put on the deck. You add that in. You add in the weight of all your building materials. If you're going to build it out of 2x4s, the walls or what have you for a houseboat, you have to know the weight of every 2x4 and the weight of all your styrofoam, your appliances like ovens and stoves and cupboards and everything, the weight of the people you're going to carry on it, weight of your fuel tanks, you know, the weight of your gray water tanks when they're full, the weight of your black water tanks when they're full, the weight of your freshwater tanks, all your steering components, hardware, your engine, everything, right down to the nuts and bolts. And once you have that all planned out, then you can go to the weight capacity chart and say, okay, my boat is going to weigh XXX when it's completed and it's got all my gear and food and everything in it. Okay, this is the size of the pontoon I need in order to build this project. Because the last thing you want to do is build your project and have it water coming over the top of the deck. You do not want it more than half submerged on the pontoons, because number one, it's illegal, and number two, it's unsafe. So take a look at the weight capacity charts, do your planning, like everything, toilets, tables, sleeping bags, everything. It's a little bit of homework you have to do, and especially if you're going with an upper deck. We build all our houseboat walls out of aluminum channel for studs for the walls to keep the weight down, and we use a 1/2 inch sandwiched white aluminum sheeting sandwiched with 1/2 inch foam in between, with just regular aluminum on the backside to keep the weight down. And then we use 2-inch styrofoam for insulation, and we usually use either a 2-inch channel for the studs or a 3-inch channel, depending on how much insulation you want in the walls. And we just notch out for your plug-in receptacles and stuff like that out of the styrofoam, and we put the vapor barrier moldings behind the plug boxes and stuff, and spray foam to insulate them. So make sure you do your homework. Don't just call up and say, I want a pontoon boat, I want to build this, I want this size. Do your homework. Weigh your engine, fuel tanks, everything, screws, everything you're going to use. You have to know the weights and the weights of the people you're going to have on board. Okay, that's just a final note. So have a look at the weight capacity chart and go from there. And like I say, if we build it for you, we spec it all out ourselves. We can spec it out for you, but there is a charge for that. If you want to give us a drawing, what you want and what the materials you want it built out of, we can spec it all out to you, what it's going to weigh and what diameter pontoons. But again, there's a engineering fee and charge. We don't guarantee it when you pick the size. It's totally up to you to make sure you have all your calculations right, unless we're building it for you. Okay, thanks again.